welcome to the eSeniors GT3 Group 3 race being held at Hungaroring this weekend. Quite a large grid. I thought there'd be a few less races on this, but at the moment the grid itself is looking like it's going to be consisting of 15 cars. Hopefully we're going to see some really good racing on this. We are trying to get one of the drivers to change the car because they turned up in the Porsche. And although the Porsche is a great car, they're about 5 seconds slower than the rest. So we're trying to get a hold of one of the drivers just to make them aware of that. Good evening, Terry. Hope you're well. Right, so again, we're short qualifying, so I'm going to jump straight in with one of the quicker, seems to be one of the quicker guys in the pre-warm-up, if you like, which is Ashley and Howells. Them guys were pretty quick in relation to the warm-ups. In fact, the times could put them in Group 1, really, even though they're Group 3. But, you know, we've made these rules to try and get people to move up through, you know, the grid, really. You know, you might well walk Group 3, but then you go to Group 2. If you walk Group 2, you go into Group 1. And, yeah, I can tell you now, going from Group 2 to Group 1, it's a completely different beast. The speed, the way they take the corners, the way they brake, it's a massive learning curve. I don't consider myself a fast driver. Some of them guys are fast, and you can't compete. You know, you're trying to stay on the coattails as long as you can. Partway through a season, I don't think we're doing that, Terry, unless you prove that obviously you need to be in the relevant group. So you know, if your times are really struggling, Jeremy may make a decision to move you into a different group. But yeah, it's a bit of a culture shock, I have to admit. But man, you're one of the fast guys as well. You make me look like a slow coach. But at the moment, yeah, they're all out on their outlap. The car 33. Andy Goddard is, looks like he spun off. Good evening, David. Sim Racing Elite. Nearly went streaming tonight. For those who've been on Discord, will realise that I took ill this morning, and yeah, it was pretty grim. So I've come out of bed to do this, and I'll be going straight back to bed. Felt fine. Got up, had my breakfast, started work, had a phone call with boss about 11 o'clock, and then halfway through the phone call, I just started feeling sick. Had another meeting. Nearly had to jump out of that meeting to go and, shall I say, show the toilet in my mouth. Managed not to. Sorry for the grim, you know, task, but consequently I decided to call it a day, and I spent most of the day in bed. Yeah, it's been entertaining, and I noticed Stefan mentioned about he needs the loo nearby. If the stream disappears and goes quiet for a second, I'll be back, as Arnie once said. Just bear with me. But I am okay this afternoon. I'm in a much better place. Still struggling, but I think come tomorrow I'll be fighting fit again. We've still not got a good lap on the board. Right, there we go. Ashley has managed to put a 1:47.9 in. Hi, Alessandro. Hope you're well. Just looking at Eric's managed to do a good time as well. He's in the 1:49s. I will put the timings up after. Car 21, which is Nikos, has gone off track. I think he spun a little bit. Nikos was looking good in pre-practice as well. I think he was third fastest. But he has made a comment that he doesn't like the nighttime track. It is, Terry, you're right. Although I was having a bit of a practice, and I have managed to do low 1:46s, and I think I can do the 1:45s. I'm hoping I'm not going to be a lamb to the slaughter on Sunday if I'm feeling up to it. These short qualifiers are good, but it doesn't give you much time to, you know, do the track. So what I'll try and do is jump on board with one of these and just give you a lap tour. I'm going to jump on board with John, okay, and jump him on board with the dashboard with him. So he's coming down, obviously the start-finish straight. In the final corner, sorry, the first corner is referred to as Sis. Don't ask me to, well, okay, maybe not. Well, let's see who else is on track and thinking about, who's that there? That number 1, which is 65. Let me see if I can jump on board with 65. Andy Skeleton. Okay, so I'll try that again. Hi Derek, welcome to the stream. So first corner is called Sizz. Don't ask me to spell it, it's got a couple of Z's in it. And the idea is to take this one as close as possible, get your power down and get into the centre. And this one, typically people drift right and then take it on the inside. So if you're racing, obviously you can take a wide angle and cut up the inside. And this next right-hander is called Foras. Now you can take this flat out and keep it on the track. And then we're coming up to Mansell. The Mansell's kind of chicane if you like. You can ride the curve quite well there on the left. Just keep it on track here, track limits are quite tight. And this takes us into Moggy-a-Rod. Don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but basically that's where the track is located. These corners here refer to Rubik's, the Rubik S's, corners 6 and 7. And the next two corners, the names of these are very inventive. So the first one here is Buddha, not Buddha, Buddha. And the next one here is Pest. Pretty straightforward, understanding that it's Budapest. This one's Nebligay. And then takes into the Lacey corner, named after the famous John Lacey. This has been called a few things. It's now referred to as the Lotus Corner. I think it's referred to as Chapman in the past as well. So it's now the Lotus Corner. And that takes us into the first part of the hairpin, which is Hartman. So on this one you want to keep to the inside and then slowly get the power down. And then try and take an angle to cut the corner. And this corner is Tripal. And this will take you onto the start and finish straight, where you're hoping for a really good lap. So Andy Skeleton's previous lap was a 1:53. Didn't see him go off track there. So let's see if he's not improved. He must have gone off track limits. So the track itself was opened in 1986, and it's a length of 4.3 kilometres. In English money, that's 2.7 miles. Okay, and as I said, a lot of the corners are named after drivers. Incidentally, this track has only ever had one death. From what I was reading, can't remember the guy, but I think it was in some sort of Formula racing car. But I'm only aware of one known death that's been recorded at this track. So even though it's quite a tight track, it must be well designed, really. Let's do a couple of shout outs to people who've joined. Let's jump on board with Joe Beckervat because he's 1.3 seconds up. So we've got Dimitri. I presume that's Stathis, Sim Racing Montreal. Welcome, Dimitri. Hi, Carlo. Oh, cheers, thanks for that, mate. Appreciate it. Hi, Melvin. And hi, Chris. And it's Big Natty again. Welcome back, Big Natty. So, the leaderboard at the moment is looking like this. You can see Howells, he's currently in pole, followed by Ashley. I think I did say they were the ones looking relatively quick. Then we got Goddard, who's done a 1:48.0, and then behind that is Wilson, who's done a 1:48.2. Eric Langlois, who's done a 1:48.5. Nikos has done a 1:48.8. Jerry Owen Woustman, if that's how you pronounce it, my apologies, a 1:48.9. And then the other drivers are in the 1:49s. So it's looking like it's going to be quite a tight battle up at the front. Hi Chris, welcome to the stream. 2 Chris's now. I'll tell you what, Chris CBO, that was some racing last night, fella. You know, the first part of the track, obviously you pulled away a little bit, but I kept my eye on everything, and as it started getting a bit tasty, I honed in on it a little bit. And that was exceptional. I think I mentioned on the stream, you know, you're currently one leg down, and to drive the way you did, consistency, and Carlu's on the stream as well. I'll tell you what, guys, that was 110% valuable entertainment. You know, I think people in the chat were saying what a race this is turning out to be. I think in the few times I've done this, I don't think I've come across anything where it's ended lap after lap where you're that close to each other. So well done, guys, that was absolutely fantastic. Yes, Melvin, all quali's now gone to 15 minutes. You're welcome, Chris, absolutely welcome. And I think we're trying to get it all done within the hour for people, but it also means if we do start doing endurance races, we've got a bit more free time. Joe's not very fast at the moment. Nikos is on a fast one again. In fact, Nikos here is on for a 1:47.6, which will put him into third place if you can hold this on. You're absolutely spot on, Chris, yeah. But the way you were driving, you were stable. You know, that car was absolutely planted. And I said Nikos goes third place. So Nikos has done an outstanding job there, getting to where he started and where he is now. So current positions are as follows: Howells, Ashley, Margaritis, Goddard, Wilson, Langlois, Boastman, Yanks, Souza, McKay, Blythe, Bekovic, Skelton, Banks. I'm not too sure whether Banks has changed his car. He was racing in the Porsche GT Cup, and I think we've tried to get him to change the car he was racing in. So let's see if he's changed that. Yeah, I don't think that's a Porsche, is it? Let's just go to the chase cam. It is a Porsche. Okay. But that's a GT3 rather than the Cup. So he has changed. A couple of cars off track. Car 33, who's Andy Goddard. He's coming up here, so there he is. He's decided to do a bit of sightseeing there on the right. It's just a flesh wound. Very good, very good. Yeah, some quality films out there. You've got no arms left. Anyway, don't get us started on that. We'll be there all night with sayings after that film. Andy Skelton's on a fast one. Hi Don, welcome to the stream. Just jump to the helicam. We're nearly towards the end now, so Andy Skelton's 2.8 seconds up here, so it's going to take him into the low 151s, I think, or 150s if he can get round the corner. He's 3 seconds up, so this is going to look like might move him up a couple of places if it's not a spoiled lap. Yeah, it's moved him up with a 150.8. And he obviously didn't like that marker board there and just thought he'd take it out a little bit, which is fine if that's what you want to do. This is Joe Bekovac. Mojo works at Porsche in Canada. He's currently up a little bit. David Blythe's up a bit as well. He's in a 150.4. He's pushing 149. See if he can just eke another second out of it. He's managed to do it. A very good time that if he's got it held together. That's put him in 8th. That was brilliant. That he made so much time in the last section of the track. 1.6 seconds. He's now done a 149.3. So I think majority of people think there's 1 or 2 out on track, but there's not many looking like they're going to progress. I will keep an eye on things, but that's the standings as they currently are. So no change at the top. That front is looking really tasty, I think it's fair to say. It's going to be interesting just to see how this race unfolds. I think racing last night, it's easy as well to see people brake late and outbrake themselves, and on this track, that's, you know, unfortunately you're going to get past. And it was good. Don't get me wrong, it was good, but you just didn't want to make a mistake really. The pole time, I shall tell you, is it's in the pit. It's not showing us, but the pole time is a 146.8. Second place is a 147.0, and third place is a 147.6. They're the 3 drivers in the 147s. So yeah, quite A lot to consider there. We're just waiting for the last few drivers to finish out the pits. David Blythe's out. He's I was going to say he's slightly up, but he's lost it a little bit. As I said, Chris, though, some of these guys have got to move through the ranks, so, you know, at the moment, they'll stand out, but as they start moving into Group 2 and Group 1, the times will probably start plateauing, which is exactly what mine have done. I'm usually midfield. Group 3 are getting faster. It'll be interesting to see how many incidents we have on this as well. It was quite entertaining last night in the Porsche. There was 1 or 2 incidents, although nothing appears to have been logged at the moment, which is makes our lives easier a little bit. He's pushing here, Dave. He could get himself up to 10th if he goes well. He needs to get this corner nailed. He's 0.7 up. This will put him into the 149.6, 149.7. Let's see where it takes him. And that 149.6, yeah. We're spot on with that. In pole we have Steve Howells, Simon Ashley second, Nikos Margaritis in third, Andy Jaime Goddard in fourth, John Wilson in fifth, Eric Langlois in sixth, Gerian Woosterman in seventh, Joe Bekovic in eighth, Einar Yanks in ninth, Manuel Souza in 10th, David Blythe in 11th, Richard McKay in 12th, Andy Skelton in 13th, and Brian Banks in 14th. And I don't know if Stefan Buckley's racing. It is showing he's on the grid. But I'm unsure because he was having 1 or 2 problems, I think. But we'll see if he either joins the chat or joins the race. He could very well be starting from the pits. Yeah, quite a few drivers putting the lights on now. Might be a good idea. Yeah, we don't want to have anyone not starting with the lights on. That's a penalty given that. Yeah, there's a couple of cars. No, so that's Jeremy Michel gone. Looks like Stefan's at the back, but everyone has got the lights on with the exception of Stefan. Eric Langlois holding up a little bit. That's going to cause a problem. I don't know what's going on there. Have we lost the car? I think Langlois gone. Oh, I think Eric Langlois disappeared. Yeah, I think he's gone to the pits for not starting. Perhaps. I can't actually see that. No, he's gone. He must have had a connection problem. And we're off! Okay, so I've got quite a good view there of the grid. Let's see if there's anything. Quite a gap there between the back and the front. That's probably because of everyone waiting for Eric, which was a bit of a shame. So far, so good. Nice and clean. This next corner can also be a problem as well. We'll see how this next corner pans out. Car's gone wide at the top there, but no incidents being logged at the moment. Again, is good. Nice and clean round that corner. Oh, he spoke too soon. Let's, I think someone cut the corner a little bit there. So let's just go back a little bit, just so we can see what's going on. We come round the corner. There's Einar's and Andy Goddard, who's now dropped down to the back. You can see the racing quite close here. One of them's come to the inside. Right, okay, so That looks like someone's taken out there. Bit of, obviously, aggressive driving there. Just trying to get round the corner. Not always the best way to do it. There we go. So let me just jump on board with David. David's getting chased down by Jorian here as well. So I am looking at the times and the gaps. So we'll move around if need be. So he's going to go for the dive up the inside with cold tyres. There's been a bit of an incident with 54 and 74 as well, which is Mackay and Stefan Buckley. Stefan Buckley's in the pits. I don't know whether there was a bit of an issue on the start there. Yeah, Eric Landlow's definitely gone. Simon Ashley with the fastest lap, 1:55.4. Spaced out quite a bit already actually. I know it doesn't look it on screen, but looking at the timings, there's a few with a bit of a going on behind there. That one, sorry, that's the one I wanted. Which is looking quite tasty here. Oh, ooh, we nearly over-rotated that then. This is the front, Ashley and Howells. Howells has really caught up. The gap was about a second. Just took quite a chunk out. Pulling away a little bit from Nikos. You can see they're taking different lines. One of them's taking the curves quite close. One of them's obviously just considering the tyres, I reckon. That could play a big part on this track at the end, is the tyres. Keep your tyres nice now. They may well last towards the end a little bit more. Richard Mackey is still closing down Jorian, and Andy Goddard is closing down Joe Makavach. This is the closest one on the grid at the moment. Gets a good tow on this. It's difficult this, you don't really get a tow as such. You can see now they're putting on 148s. Simon Ashley there in poles going on 148, so just starting to get to grips with the tyres, the track, temperatures and so on. Gone a bit wide there. That Ferrari looks planted behind him, went round the corner sweet. Both hugging the inside. You can see though the Ferrari's just going round so much quicker and better. We're definitely pulling away from the cars behind. There was a bit of another knock with car 54, which is Richard Mackay, and car 425. I think I've missed that now. Was Jorian, so I think there might have been a bit of a bump into the corner. Just going to jump on board with David. There we go. David's catching up Andy Skelton here. I think we have this battle more or less straight away. A couple of other fast ones going on, but again, there's 3 quick battles going on here. Again, Ferrari versus McLaren here. Interesting to see. I did take the McLaren out. I found it a little bit looser with a very similar setup as possible. The Ferrari definitely felt planted with a very similar setup. Or should I say very similar adjustments. And they still managed a 156.1 in the McLaren. Gone a bit wide there. But then again, if you get the power down quite early on. Simon Ashley going even faster with a 147. I think 0.1 or 0.8, I missed the numbers there. No catching going on there. Andy Goddard's trying to catch Manuel Souza. Looks like he's got a good run down here. Is he going to try and outbrake him? He broke out bug himself. Oh, he's made it stick. Is he going to get round? Is it rotating? Yeah, absolutely brilliant. I think that's one of the first passes we've seen. That was nicely done, that. Well done, Andy. The battle back at the front. Simon and Steve still at it, hammer and tongue. I think this is going to be another Carlo and Chris. I think the way these two are driving, probably going to be a mistake. Someone out braking themselves or going wide. I do think the Ferrari looks a bit more planted though. Porsche's always been a bit of a looser car, hasn't it? I think on the straight the Porsche's probably a bit better. There's no one else at this moment in time causing grief for the other drivers. A couple just over half a second, but they're not showing up as progression. There we go, let's... Dorian's caught David. Andy has caught Brian Banks. Let's change that view a little bit. You can see Andy unfortunately I think got hit in the back. Even Howell's a 147.0. Started battling his way back up the field here. And his Ferrari, as I said, the Ferrari does seem a little bit more planted. I'm not going to say it's the best car for this track, but it does seem to be pretty damn good. He's going to get him here. Oh, maybe not. I don't think he's caused damage, but that's kind of like put him back again there. Yeah, good point that, Chris. Nikos has dropped back a little bit. Nikos is 6 seconds behind. The only other battle at the moment is Jerry against Richard, but again, this is the closest battle. I think there's going to be an overtake here in a minute. I'm being honest. I've been wrong. I've been wrong before. He needs to drive out the last corner so he can get ever so slight bit of toe. I think there's been a bit of action here. Yeah, I think Richard's managed to pass David. A bit of action there. I think that's Richard now has gone up into 7th place. And he's hunting down Andy Skelton, who's currently in 6th, having a great race. Yeah, scrubbing quite a lot, Chris, I've noticed that. I wonder if he's just pushing and pushing and pushing. You can see David Blythe having another look at these two. Let's jump on board with Richard. See if we can get a good run. Into straight down here. He's dropped a bit back there. It was looking quite decent, but I think that corner has lost a bit of time for David. Einar's on a bit of a quick lap as well at the moment. That gap at the front settled down a little bit. It's about half a second to a second now. Oh, that looked like a bit of a... Okay, a bit of a dive, I think. So that was, I think, David and Richard. I think David went for the dive, did he? Perhaps. Well, that pass is clean. We're down here. That's a difficult one, that. Very difficult one to determine who's fault with that. Very difficult indeed. I think Manuel looking like he's I'll work out if he's been passed. I think Joe might have passed him. No, it looked like Joe was trying to pass him and it's not showing a time at the moment, so sounds like this is a bit of a battle brewing. Yeah, Melvin, I agree. The default dashboard button's that one. Otherwise, I've got to switch to the car, then go onto dashboard. I'll consider that and bear that in mind next time, okay? So if I do that, it's that dashboard one or that dashboard one. I prefer the second one, but I've got to select that manually, unfortunately. There could be another pass down here. Both catching, well, Andy's catching Joe, and I think Manuel in front. Yeah, he's got a good run here. Let's see if he gets him. Got a good run, no toe, just pure grunt, possibly less downforce. Yeah, that's almost a carbon copy of the change he did before. The pass he did before, should I say. He's now chasing down Souza. The gap at the front's now over a second, so it's definitely settled down up at the front. Ashley still in front of Howells. Current standings are like that. Either Ashley and Howells, and then Margaritas. Howells with the fastest lap. The two at the back, Michelle and Jeremy, aren't actually racing. They're doing admin. Okay, let's jump on board with still no action at the moment. Let's jump on board with Andy here. See if he's going to catch Manuel. I think he's going to get him on the straight again. Looking at this, has someone gone wide? No, just caught the curb a little bit there. Going to get a good drive, I think, here, isn't he? He's going to need another take for Andy, I think. The power down. Gear there, I think. Might just keep away there. Going to go for a late brake on the inside. Showing his nose. He's doing it. He's going to overrun that. You can see that was coming. He's managed to keep out of trouble though. So he's going to rejoin. And Joe's going to put him back under pressure. Right, let's jump on board with Steve Howells. He's back at it again. So they've had a breather and they're back at it again. I don't know why it's called the snail. But, its car skin's really nice. It's like a faded red, like a proper Ferrari faded red. Dark at the back and light at the front. He's got a good run here. Bit of defensive work going on. Let's see if he makes it stick. So we're going to get it back on the straight here. Porsche got the grunt. No, looks like a very good pass that. Nice and clean. But as I said, driver goes wide, you're going to open yourself up or forgets to get the power down. You do become a sitting duck. Don't think he's going to get me here. Cheers, Kev. Yeah, feeling a bit better. I'll be going straight to bed after this. I've written today off, really. Right, I'm going to jump on board with Manuel because he's still getting pestered by Andy. So you can see Andy's car's got a few scrapes on it already. There has been another bit of an incident with car 54 and car 911. Doesn't look like there's been any outcome. That's McKay and Banks. And by the sounds of it, they're friends as well, so I'll let them scrap that one out in the pub later. So going to go for it again here, make it stick. Not too sure. I think Manuel's gone a bit wide this time. Means Andy's got the line. Is he going to keep it? The inside's what you want, but you've got the pace. You can always do that on the... I wonder who's going to switch round here, Andy. No? Good racing, that. Really good racing. Still the battle goes on. Looks like Joe's starting to put pressure on Andy as well, behind. From what I can see there. Got Jerry and trying to catch David Blythe here. And in front of them we've got Andy Skelton, who's in 6th place. So some good grid positions at the moment. And drivers made up some really good places. You can see there, 3 of them battling a little bit. They're going to get anything on this corner onto the straight. Let's wait and see. David Blythe of Blood Buzz Racing. He's being chased down by Gary Owen. That's his name. My apologies if I've got your name wrong. Not going to outbrake him. That's a car flying right down at the end. That's Manuel Souza, I think, just being a bit hot coming into the corner. This is the closest battle, but it's getting a bit tasty again up front. So let's yes, this is the closest, but I'll just keep my eye on up front a little bit. I think there's going to be a bit of a battle going on here, so let me just jump on board with Dash, David. Andy's having another go at Souza. He's persistent, I think it's fair to say. He's going to be on this lot in a minute. If he can keep it on the track. Last few times I think he's managed to take it off himself with no assistance. No further incidents at the moment. Down to first. Different driving styles, isn't it? Bit of a tap on the brakes there, get the rotation going. Very close racing, these two. Not much in it really. How the lap times compare. Not much in the lap times. 151.9 and a 152.3. You can see the sector comparisons there as well. The last sector are more or less bang on. It seems to be the first sector and second sector where David was a little bit quicker. Okay, I'm just going to jump on board with John, because John's did show John catching someone up. I'm not too sure. There's a car gone off there. That was car 21, Nikos. Yeah, Nikos has spun. And he's, oh, don't want it that. He's there was no contact. There's no contact showing, so it looks like Nikos has just lost it. Car 33 has been involved, not in an incident, but spun off as well. And that's Andy Goddard again. He's just getting himself back up to speed. There's a couple of cars going off at the moment. Yeah, it's just it's difficult the night races, isn't it? Let's go back to see where maybe Blythe and Gerowin is doing. Gerowin. I think I'll stick with that. Names have never been my strong point, as you probably imagine some of the names I've said. It's getting harder now to see, isn't it, with the light fading. He's got him up the inside there by the looks of it. He's not managed to get the power down, unfortunately. Still 4 cars together here. Gap at the front is 1.4 seconds. So Steve Howells has managed to just keep the pressure on a little bit there. They are on quite quick laps as well, the pair of them. You can't split them on lap times. You really can't. thought you were going to have a bit of oversteer. It's the camera angles, isn't it? Just looked like you'd oversteered then, but obviously because the camera's on the right hand side of the dashboard. Oh, what was that? I think someone's decided to take a bit of a sign out there. Right, there's been an incident, so let me try and track it down. There's been an incident between two racers here. A bit of passing going on here so far, so I wonder where it went wrong. Oh, it looks like someone got the tyres on the curb a little bit. It's a bit unfortunate. It's a bit of a shame because that battle was looking quite tasty. And you can still see it's going on now at the moment. I wonder if there's any damage to any of the cars there. Hi Mike, no I don't unfortunately. Can't see the number of warnings, it doesn't give me that information. It's very close here. You're going to get him up the inside, is he going to make it stick? Oh, he's done that on the straight, that's quite interesting. And he's got his foot down there, and there's another car coming into play here, Mr. Banks. He's crawling up the back as well, so anything could happen here. Oh. Okay, he's jumped in late. And he's took a couple of cars within there. I don't think we need to do a replay on that one. I think it's fair to say that was... we saw that incident unfold pretty well. Andy Skelton's currently in 10th. And Joe is just behind him. So this battle is going on and on and on. See what's going on with... Trying to work out where Andy is at the moment on the track. 33. Can't see him actually. Trying to see where he is in relation to the battles. 333. Can't see 33. He must be very close to someone. Yeah, he's half a second. Oh, he's behind Andy Skelton now. That was a bit interesting. Let's just review that again. I missed that real action then because I was looking at the timing screen. I missed it. Gone wide there. Not seen the contact. Although there was an incident, there was no contact per se, so okay, missed the contact side of things, but we still saw him go off. This is the only battle to consider at the moment. Go back on his rear again here. On the straight. Very good braking there, very good braking. You're going to get the run out. Got the Andy's defending the inside there. Very close, very close. Definitely in the quicker car. That Porsche does seem a bit more switched on, more power. Okay, let's just jump on board with Joe. Joe catching it here. Gap at the front is 1.6. 19 minutes of the race left to go. Current standings are as follows. You can see this battle is the 12th, 11th place. And you can see at some point Andy's managed to take them. Bit of action a bit further forward. Jerry and still trying to catch David Blythe. He's having a fantastic race in 6th here. You're going to get a good run at him on the straight. Getting the power down well, David. I see David back. He's obviously got his head down and started concentrating because he's having really good laps here. Ooh, that was a bit on the, should we say, ambitious side there. I mean, he stopped it. Could have gone anyway, that one. The only action on track at the moment. GT3 and still, which is actually still chasing down Howells, but there's nothing much in it at the moment. Just jump on board so you can see how the gap is. The gap is currently 1.5 seconds. It's stabilised that gap now, so you can see both running at it. I wonder if they settle for position. Someone in the chat's going to say, you never settle for position. You'll always try it. But you can see the lap times, how similar they are on the split. You know, 148.25 and a 148.1. You know, it's you can't split them. You absolutely cannot split them. Just stick on this at the moment. There's nothing much going on elsewhere on track. This is, I think, one of the closest battles we've currently got. We'll keep my eye on the further back, the battle with Joe, Andy and Andy. Andy's a second faster than the ones around him, and Richard Kay, sorry, his lap is a 140. He's done a 148.3. He really does need to move forward, but he has pitted. Looking at it, Andy's on a flyer here. Andy Goddard, he's on an absolute flyer when it comes to the laps. He's 1.6 seconds up on his fastest. I know lap times don't mean anything, but when you're racing, but he's just done a 147.8, so he's got the grip between his teeth here. And I'm just wondering whether they're going to see a late charge from Andy. He's currently in 10th. It's not unreasonable if he can catch Manuel to jump another 2 places if he doesn't go off. I think that's the caveat with that one, isn't it? I don't know if his lights flash then. Usually indicates you've got received damage. Let's back to the front where the action currently is. Getting a bit tasty, shall we say. So waiting for another incident, do you think? Ooh, God, I thought he'd hit him then. Oof, that was yeah, I'm not going to say what I was going to say. In the current circumstance, probably not the wisest thing to say. These are still battling. There's no other battles at the moment. So the gap between Simon and John, who's in 3rd, is 28 seconds. Nikos is now back in 5th. He did lose a bit of places, but it looks like he's managed to stabilise where he is. If he can keep it on track. You duck, Chris. I'd actually thought he was going to clobber him on the right rear, sorry, the left rear. That would have definitely been a spin for both cars, I would imagine. Possibly damaged because of the speed as well. But yeah, that was one of them, put your fingers to your eyes and look through them. He's pulled off a little bit here now. It's getting a bit quiet on track. There's just no battles going on. It's like everyone's just said, okay. Still got Andy being chased by Joe, but again that gap stabilised. This is the close. Oh, I was going to say this is the closest battle, but Joe's now showing an interest in Andy again. So these two have already come together. The last incident was involving these two, as we saw. What you reckon, the Porsche a bit higher? Makes sense, I suppose. Where's all the battles gone? What are the battles? There's no battles. I'm trying to work out where they are. So 33. got like a long chain of cars racing, and this is the only one where they're together. Yeah, that's right, Kev, that. It's definitely, as I said, go wide, you get your place, but even then, you can go wide in some of the corners, and you can keep the power down. It can have quite a negative effect on the car behind you. Doesn't sound like he's putting his foot down, Joe, in the Mojo Works. He seems to be, the acceleration seems quite tapered. Like it's, I don't know if he's on the, he's not going to be on fuel saving, is he? You can hear it in the, that corner then, when he put his foot down, it seemed laboured on the acceleration. I might need to change views here, just to see what's going on. As you can see there, Andy's managed just to pull away, but is there going to be a last ditch dive here, perhaps? Thinking about it. That was tidy, that. I think a bit of respect there for Andy Skelton for letting him past. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to work out, Dave. Is he struggling with fuel? And he shifted early because he's got a problem with fuel. And the way the acceleration was quite linear made me think he was running a slower mixture. I mean, if that's the case, he's still doing well. But it's a shame because if he had full power, I think he'd breeze up past Andy at this point. We got him here? No, he hasn't got him here at all. Andy's keeping to track. Doing really well, Andy, here. I'm hoping Andy's going to have enjoyed this race because he's battled and battled and battled. And he's kept it on track. You know, he's had a really good race, solid race here. Majority of it has been relatively fair as well. There's been a few incidents that may get lodged tomorrow, but other than that, I think actually it's... oh, I spoke too soon. But fair dues. Joe's let him go there, bring him back on. Okay, that was very sporting. It's nice to see that the rules we're trying to get in place are working well and people are abiding by them. Right, other battle going on here. I'm going to see if we can jump on board with Yurion. Read your mind, Dimitri. I think as I see it in a different way on my screen. I see the track as a single line, and what I do is I see the cars, which are the numbers on the line, so I can see where they are in relation to the track and in relation to the car, and I can just click on them and it'll take me to that car. There's a bit more going on here behind as well, so I'm just going to just jump back a little bit. I think that was a pass actually. I think there was a pass there, Richard and Brian. That was looking very close. Let's just back forward because we missed that one. Back with Boosterman here. Steve Howells has pulled a 3.3 second lead out in the front now, so I think it's I'm not going to say it looks like his race. I'm not, because obviously anything can happen. Joe and Andy are having a right ding dong. Oops, got the wrong cart. Oh dear, what happened there? There's no contact. He's got a... I don't know what's going on there. It looks like he's got a problem. His car just seemed to stop. It was almost like it stalled. Okay, that's interesting. Let's put him right down anyway. It's took pressure off Andy Skelton, that. A quick drink of water, guys. Sorry, I need it. Nah, not much going on at all. This is the closest by a long chalk, this one. 8 minutes to go. Current standings are as follows. I've not seen Musman race before, so I think this is the first time I've seen him race. He's, you know, 7th, I think, quite tidy position. David Blythe, who he says obviously just come back to the group, which is fantastic to get him back. He's pulling out a 6th place as well. So I think he was one of the ones in the early days who thought the Group 3 would work. And you know, I know Friday was always the fun race, but there was such a gap between some of the racers, it was difficult. And now they're racing against their own level. I think it's heightened the racing really somewhat. I can see Steve and Simon though, they're going to be moved up. Possibly John as well, John Wilson. He's having a very consistent race. Yeah, he's quite far behind Simon. He doesn't seem to have had any issues at all. He's just got on with it. You know, I said this to Willie Owens, because sometimes he says he's not the fastest, but I said to him, you know, if you're consistent and a person in front of you does a fast and then 2 slows, the consistency will win every time. You know, as long as you're consistent and keep it on track, you're just waiting for someone else to fall off. It's all about, you know, your braking points, your apexes, your ins and outs. You know, and if the car in front doesn't do that lap after lap, you have an option, you know, a bit of an advantage there. Yeah, this is the biggest, this is the closest gap we've got now. Closest bit of racing. Although, where's Andy? 33. I'm trying to find 33. Yeah, Andy's just took. God, it didn't come up on my screen. Andy's just took. Andy's just took Sousa. And there's a spinner in front of us. Nikos has spun. I'm trying to work out what he's done there because he's waiting for safe return, which is pretty good. Still a car coming. So at this point in time, he's losing place after place after place. That's not showing a contact, so I think he's just spun out there. But very, very safe rejoin, I think it's fair to say. That's something else we've tried to concentrate on a little bit. You can see Andy is now putting pressure on. I'm trying to work out whether that's a back marker. No. Huh? I'm a bit confused here. Oh, it's Wustman. I was going to say it's saying Langlois on the screen there, but he quit out before. It can't be him. This is Andy against Yorion. There's Dimitri right. You know, they always say that, don't they? Just keep it consistent and keep it steady. There with the tortoise. That's a good one to take that if he's made it stick. It's not switching cameras. There you go. He's made that stick. So Andy Goddard's probably one of the most frustrated drivers on the track. He qualifies well, then makes a mistake at the start and drops right down the back. Passes a few cars and then makes another mistake. A lot of these are self-inflicted. You can see he's such a quick driver. And yet, you know, keeping the car on the track. I don't know if he's putting the power down too early, caused it to spin out. I mean, if that was me, I'd be just changing the traction control up a little bit, just to give you that extra piece of grip into the corners. Because it does seem to be struggling with oversteer. Which means the back's trying to keep going. If he adjusted it ever so slightly, it may just stop the back spinning round. I mean, the other option he's got is move the bias to the back a little bit, so the backs just grip a bit more. So many options. Let's go and pump order then. This is getting this is tasty. This Joe and Andy are at it again. Oh, it's Joe. He seems to be stopping a few times. I'm trying to work out whether he's got a problem. He's not accelerating full. I don't know what the main map is on the Porsche. He's on map 6. Does anyone know if that's the race map or fuel saving map? Saying that, Andy's got traction control set to 5. He's got decent traction control there. Hey, hey Chris, don't start talking rain now. I've done well so far. Not a wet race. Yeah, he does, Dimitri. Oh, right, sorry, my apologies. 8 is race mode, so he's on 6. He's on, so that's why the power seems laboured. I wonder if, I wonder if he selected the rain setup. But put dries on. He's got him here, hasn't he? Let's see if he's going to make it stick. Oh, he's gone wide. And as I said again, he spun his own worst enemy. 2 minutes into the race left to go. But let's just go back with Joe and let's see if we can work out, is it on... The map is 6 and you think that's rain. So that would explain why the power isn't going down. It's got low traction control though. If that's what the mapping is, if the mapping is 6 there, that would explain why he's not getting the power down. Just hear it. And he's short shifting as well. Okay, we're going to go on board with Mr. Howells, the snail. Qualified, so Carlo's got the... So Carlo, you said he's got the fastest setting there. It just doesn't look like his car's responding with it. We all saw the same thing. I'm wondering whether he is low on fuel and he's panicking. I'm just going to jump on board with Joey in a minute because he's catching David Blythe. David's now in 5th after Nikos's spin. I will jump back on board with Steve before the end of the lap. Not gained on him, is he? I think Blythe's going to enjoy this. Who's that? That was Skelton, wasn't it? Letting the back markers pass for a comment. So what car's this? This is the course. This is map 8. So 8 is race mode, so this is the right one for that car. There's definitely a difference there. I'm wondering whether he just burnt his fuel as a result of having a different setting. Back forward with the full car as he's catching back markers up. Our race leader. He's a significant gap in front of Simon. You see he's taking it easy now. He's got the gap. He's got the gap where he wants it. No silly business. No shenanigans. This is his final lap. Get around the corner. Get on the straight. He'll have 1 lap to do. He might not. It might end the race. Interesting. Never seen it this close before. Yeah, that's it. Mr. Howells wins the race. Congratulations, Steve. Brilliant. Let's jump on board with Simon, who's kept him for most of it on his toes. So again, that was a good run for Simon there. And as I said, John Wilson's just kept his head down, had no incidents from the start all the way through to the end, and he's just got on with it. Cheers, Dave. Thanks very much. Thanks everyone for watching the stream. Enjoy your weekends. I'll see this to the over the line and then I'll switch to me placeholder for the end of the stream. Good race that. Nice one. Thanks everyone. Take care.